So we're here demonstrating the modular capabilities of ModVans. We're going to take the seats out first. This build, it's our first X Series build. It has 4 seats. The middle 2 seats, as you can see here, have seat heaters on them. So we're going to get to it.
Side, all the way around. So each seat has 5 bolts. Everything's 3/4 inch. So let's remove this one, Anthony. And then put it aside outside the van, and we'll make sure that. In the X Series, the seats have seat heaters in them. So this one will need to be disconnected under.
How much did the seats weigh, JT?
Quite a bit.
I think 85 pounds. So this is the X Series, JT. What's under that floor?
Secrets. The whole floor of this van is one giant battery. So this one is equipped with 2100 amp hours at 12 volt of lithium batteries. So a layer of batteries under everything, and then we engineered the floor to encapsulate the batteries but still have all the mounting systems for the seats and the cabinets. So really what we're doing right now is taking everything out of the van to show that we can get back to a pretty simple cargo van configuration and have a ton of space to haul around whatever we want during the week. 4x8 sheets, lumber, if somebody's moving or whatever. And then comes Friday night or on the weekend, we can put everything back in if needed.
So JT, while you're doing that, can you tell us a little bit about the safety of these seats? There's a battery under there.
Yeah.
So how does it work?
So everything is integrated into the floor, and the reason why the seats are so heavy is because everything is safe and rated for crash safety to the FMVSS standards. So right underneath this vinyl flooring, we have some plywood floors with massive steel plates running all across the back of the van. So 2 of them, second row and then third row. These have threaded inserts, so that's why those bolts are going straight in, and then once we remove them, it's totally flush. Under the van we have massive steel straps that can sandwich the plates and the straps all around the frame. Everything's drilled through the strongest members that we could find under, and this configuration is super unique. I mean, it took us quite a while to actually figure out where to place those bolts. We did the full testing. We went through multiple iterations of the system we developed to finally get something that is safe. We're comfortable driving. We're comfortable taking our kids and friends with us, and that we're comfortable having customers drive everywhere as well. And then, yeah, in the back we mount the cabinets again through the floor. Same systems. We have some inserts in the floor, and then we just have usually 4 bolts going into the base of the cabinets, and then it just kind of encapsulates the cabinet this way. So we'll kind of try to show you a little bit later when we take the cabinets out. The kitchen has some water connections, electrical connections for the induction stovetop. The cabinet in the back has the fridge in it, so this needs to be disconnected as well. And then on the driver's side, this one is equipped with the microwave, so we'll need to disconnect that. We'll take all the bed panels out. These come out really quick. They're super light. And then once everything is out, it's going to be a massive volume in here. It's a lot of space. So yeah, we'll show you that in a second. All the seats, like we said, are rated for crash testing, and they will have 3-point seat belts. They'll have 2 armrests. They all recline, swivel, rotate. So we can play with a lot of different configurations inside the van when we have the tables. We didn't bring them right now, but you can see that in other videos. And the front seats swivel at it as well. So you can kind of have multiple tables, up to like 6 people dining together. So we have a lot of flexibility, a lot of modularity in the vans. And everything we built, all models that we built, have the same system in it. So whether you buy a van with 1 or 2 seats, you will always have the capability to put 7 seats in it. Wally removes a couple bolts. I'll start pulling the bed panels out. So it's super comfortable, 5-inch multi-density layers, memory foam cushions. Each bed has 3 cushions in them, so it's easy to remove. And then the bed panels are extremely light. It's honeycomb aluminum bed panel. You can kind of see the structure. It only weighs a few pounds, so that's very convenient to take in and out of the van as well. So this is the upstairs bed. We have a downstairs bed and upstairs bed, but you don't have to have both beds either on your trip. Sometimes when it's just 2 people traveling, we like taking only 1 set of bed panels and cushions. And then we can either put it downstairs or upstairs, and then keep the room easier access, or have the standing room all the time, or have the bed made at the bottom all the time, or just move the bed around and do whatever kind of works for your configuration and your style of traveling. How tall is it? Like 7 feet, right? Maybe more.
I think it's 7.5 feet.
7.5, yeah. The kitchenette, there's the drain line for the sink that goes through the floor. That just comes right out, so I can just pull on it. And then this van has a little more accessories on it. So there is a water filtration inside the kitchen cabinet. You can see the second faucet coming up here, just kind of like RO water, similar in your kitchen. So I need to disconnect the water line for that, and then the water lines for the faucet. So I'll kind of get in there, disconnect it. It might be hard to see, but we'll show you around in the back after. The cold water for, well, first I'm going to turn off all the valves. The water pump is off right now as well. Turn off the valve, and then these fittings don't require tools. They just come out. The rubber gasket is enough to keep everything tied together. The sink, the faucet, water lines, the valves. This was the UV treatment, power for the UV treatment, and then the induction was connected back here.
Where's the drain go?
The drain goes right through the floor here. There is a fitting that's mounted on the floor, and then there's just kind of a press fit. And inside here, I got 4 bolts. Pretty easy, accessible. So Anthony, let's pull this forward a bit, not too much, and then we'll disconnect the fridge. Disconnect it right from the fridge itself. Okay, so this one is a dry flush toilet, fancy. So this one only has 2 ring nuts in the back. So we have 3 different toilet options. The standard cassette toilet, that is removable. All of them. This one is the dry flush toilet with the bag system in it. twists and locks, and then the composting toilet, which does even more stuff. Okay, so this one does have power to it. So we're just disconnect here on the back. So since it's modular, we actually don't have to have all the cabinets in the van, even if you just want to go camping for a weekend. Like some people will be fine not having the kitchen or not having the fridge. You can just bring a small cooler if you need a lot more storage for 5 mountain bags. That's the standard 25-gallon water tank. Disconnect the water level sensor. This is just the wire for the containment stuff. So that's a fitting like very similar to the one on the sink for the faucet. So I'm just unscrewing that. Yeah. So it's empty.
Yeah.
Back to 11 feet long by 5 feet wide, something like that. 7.5 feet.
Here we are in our first X Series build, ready for customer delivery. We've taken all the modular components out so that everybody can see what the modular part of ModVans is all about. With the cabinets out, let's talk about what you could still do with this van. Still mounted into the floor is the biggest ever battery put in an RV. It's 26 kilowatt hours, 2160 amp hours of lithium battery. That battery still powers the inverter, the 120 volt outlets, the rooftop AC can still be run, and the 12 volt electric furnaces can still be run. It still has floor heating system, and the water system actually still works, although you'd have to put the shower nozzle on and at least carry a water tank so you can carry some water. The entertainment system's still in place. You can actually still watch TV because the TVs are still operational. And the satellite TV with just the installation of the satellite receiver would be working again. So as you can see, very unique to ModVans. You can take the vehicle that is a fully featured RV with all the things you would expect, like a sink, stove, and refrigerator, and modify it on the fly after delivery to get back to a bare cargo van or a vehicle that has just the features you need for the adventure and toys that you have in mind. I've driven off the road a little bit, camped out last night off a dirt road in some national forest land. It's my favorite way to camp, get away from everybody. I haven't seen anybody since I pulled off the road last night. This is actually a really nice site, got some nice trees, there's a little lake down the road. The X Series is an option that can be added to any of our models. The CV1, as you see in this case, the CV1M, which is our medium roof version of the CV1, and our new MH1 extended length high roof motorhome. So this option that can be added to any of the models, what does it give you? First and foremost, it gives you the biggest battery ever put in an RV. It's 26 kilowatt hours. In terms of electric cars, it's relatively small, but in terms of RV, it's about twice as big as the biggest one I've ever seen advertised. I'll show you in a minute how we did this by creating a unique and patented pending floor mounted battery system. But I guess the point is just that it's the biggest. Second, we have the ModVans app. This is an app that runs on Android and iOS devices, Apple devices, that can control almost everything in the conversion. Over time, this app is going to get better and better. It's going to look better and better and control more and more devices. As you can see, we already have a lot of devices. All the lights are also controlled, heating, heated floors, seats. We'll get into all that in a minute. And then finally is our cloud connectivity. So right now this app is connected via Bluetooth. Gives me local connectivity whether I have internet connection or not. But whenever the van's in range of internet connectivity, this same app can be used to monitor and control everything that I can control locally with Bluetooth. The internet connectivity also gives us the ability to push over-the-air upgrades. The van actually has 5 custom circuit boards, and all those circuit boards have firmware. We've developed the technology in-house to be able to push upgrades to all those circuit boards so that we can continue to improve and fix the functionality of the vehicle after it's been delivered at any time. What good is having this thing on an app? Well, I'm going to just show you one thing that I did this morning that I never thought of before, but it became possible by having an app. So I parked pretty close to all these trees, and as you can see, the awning and the pop-up top are really close to the trees. So I wanted to get in nice because that's just kind of how I like to camp, but at the same time I want to make sure that I don't hit anything with my van. So with the app I was able to come out here and actually operate the pop-up top. So I don't know if you can see it. It may take a minute, but the top's coming down as I hold this button. For safety, it's set up so that you have to hold the button to keep moving it. Of course, it's an app. We could change that if we wanted to. So basically, I came out here, eyeballed the trees, figured they were probably high enough, but I was able to lift the top and keep an eye on it from the outside while I was racing to make sure it didn't hit any obstacles. I was able to do the exact same thing with the awning. These are just a couple examples of the many things that we think will come up as people use the app and discover more unique use cases that are enabled by having control and monitoring capabilities on your mobile devices. Now that we're in the van, I can lay the app down so you can see it on the table. This is the tablet that we supply with the X series conversion. You can substitute this with any device you like, and you can also put it on your phone. So I have it running on my phone, so when I hop in bed I can turn things on and off and adjust the thermostat as needed. I'm not going to give you a full tour of the app, just show you a few key features. First of all, now that I'm in here, I can actually turn off, for example, some of these off-road lights. If I want to turn off the lights in here, I can do that as well. Just turn everything off. Every light is dimmable, but we don't want you to lose your settings, so one click turns it on and off. So I'll just give you a quick demonstration of that. Here's the upstairs main light. We're going to turn them on real quick, and then we want to get them down to, let's say, 50%. You just drag it down to that. Probably can't see it here with all this nice natural lighting, but the lights are dimmed down now. So a couple more things in the app. Of course, we have our battery monitor. You can click here to get details. As the app improves, we'll get more and more details. We have our water tank level monitor. It's really nice. It actually has a big float, and we're sampling it on a regular interval. We can adjust it for the tank shape, all kinds of cool stuff we can do there. On our appliances and motors, you can actually see all the cool things that we can turn on and off from anywhere in the world, really. We got our satellite TV. It has 2 TVs upstairs and downstairs. Of course, pop-up top, awning switches, The auto feature of the water heater is pretty cool. So when you're driving, it'll turn the water heater on, and then and use kind of the free alternator charging to heat up the water. When you turn the vehicle off, you can come in and turn the auto feature off, and then turn the water heater on and let it heat up. Everything here is electric. Everything here is DC, 12 volt. So the air conditioner, the furnaces, the seat heaters. I'm going to show you the heating system real quick. Here's our heating system. Same thing with the furnace. You just set the temperature you want. I ran it at 65 last night. Super nice in here. We have floor heaters and heated second row seats. Like any other furnace, you can explicitly control the fan if you want. If you leave all these switches in auto, it'll actually be driven off the thermostat here. We don't know if the algorithms are perfect yet, but we like to think, you know, as the cabin gets closer to the thermostat set here, it'll actually run the floor heaters and the second row heaters less. If the auto feature is not working to your liking, of course you can just turn it off and then set a value explicitly. One other feature that's maybe not clear from looking at the app that we can do, because everything's under software control, when we're doing things like running the furnace fans, we can actually run them as quietly as possible as the temperature gets closer and closer to the set temperature. So you know, when the temperature gets within 1 degree, we're basically running those fans almost silently, and that's kind of where it's going to maintain it. But as the temperature diverges, let's say it gets over 10 degrees colder than the temperature you have set on the thermostat, then of course it needs to crank up the fans to get the cabin heated more quickly. So here we are with our third row seats. Here we don't have a slim kitchen in. In this case, we expected this customer to only put these third row seats in occasionally for friends. Same thing with the beds. We have the bed, downstairs bed is not set up. It's all kind of strapped down for delivery here. If he needs to set it up, of course he can. And if he wants to take those panels and cushions out and store them at home, he can. Here I have what's kind of our daytime mode for this upstairs bed. The cushions and panels are stacked. I have a 2-person sleeping bag. That's my preferred system when camping in the CV1. That's up there. Along with my pillows, all that stuff can stay up there. When the top comes down, there's just enough room to do it. We've come up with a new system to attach the rails for the downstairs bed, transport them. So here's our electric kitchen. On this test trip, I've had some good experience with the induction stove, gotten to know it a little bit better. I've kind of always had propane stoves and just use the propane, the induction stove just a little bit. There's kind of some good features about this. First of all, note that it's a 2-burner stove, and it's a large 2-burner stove. So you can actually get a very large pot and a medium-sized pot here. You could put a skillet and a medium-sized pot. Probably could squeeze 2 large pots. Actually, these 2 burners are so big. All electric controls, of course. It does require some kind of induction compatible cookware. I didn't have anything. All my stuff's aluminum for lightweight camping for many years. So I was able to drop into Walmart and grab this stainless steel nestable cookware, 26 bucks, quite a deal. It has some cups and stuff in there. I don't know if it's the nicest stuff, but it did work to get me going for this trip. Our flip up table here, our super nice deep sink. You know, this sink's kind of interesting. You know, we want the largest, deepest sink possible, which I guess everybody does, but we really kind of comb the whole world for these things. And this one's a great sink. We're super pleased with it. It looks really good. They did a great job. It's stainless steel, so it's going to last a while. Here's your soap dispenser. Really great feature, so you don't have to find your soap bottle every time you want to wash your hands. And then this over here is our UV water purifier. So I'll turn it on real quick while we're kind of going through this. You can see that glow there. That's letting you know that the water is being purified as it's being dispensed. The placement of this is really handy, so I can, whenever I'm ready to cook spaghetti or something, I can just turn that faucet over here and fill my pot up. I've been doing it like every morning when I make my coffee. I just set the pot on the stove and fill it up with water, and then I'm ready to go. And again, this van has electric hot water that's heated as the van drives, and then you can of course heat it with the battery just by turning it on manually anytime. Some really great features here in this kitchen. Ton of storage underneath. It's just kind of a jumble. I don't have all my camping stuff in it. So let's go on to some other kind of cool features here. So we decided to go ahead and tackle privacy shades. So we designed these shades. They roll up and they have straps, and then they have little toggles here. When you're ready to take them off, you can just turn this toggle and then take them off. And then we designed them to fit onto the frames that we deliver with the vans. The frames have little pieces of metal embedded in them, and then the cover itself has these magnets, so it kind of sticks in place. We've never seen anything quite like this design before, so we weren't quite sure how it would be used in practice. So far, we're really liking it, and we're glad we went through the effort of tackling our own privacy covers. This is the one on the passenger slider door. We made some for the front windows as well. I didn't take a ton of time setting them up, but they're pretty easy to set up. And then that's what they look like when they're rolled. Of course, they have the toggles, so they can be taken off. So let's talk a little bit about the way we imagine this customer using it. This customer works off his computer for a living, like many of us. And so we wanted to give him a really great computing experience. Of course, that kind of starts with these super comfortable chairs. They're more comfortable than my office chair, I think, sometimes. And then this Lagoon mount table has a lot of flexibility to go back and forth. Over here we have the internal antenna to our cell boosting solution. Some people ask if we have a Wi-Fi booster. Why do we go with a cell phone booster? So the reason we go with a cell phone booster is because it will boost not only your internet connectivity, but also your cell signal. So it'll boost your phone calls and text messages as well. And it gives you a choice of providers. So right here, I have a T-Mobile hotspot that I went down to T-Mobile and grabbed real quick, and we had an internet outage at our office. Got us back on the road there. On my phone, my personal phone, I have Verizon, and I can turn down that hotspot. And then the Transit itself, this chassis that we delivered it with, has an AT&T mobile hotspot that you can use. So traveling around, I actually have 3 different internet options depending on my connectivity and what's going on. It's interesting here. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but I actually have 5 bars of 5G connectivity on my T-Mobile hotspot. And I'm on the top of a mountain in the middle of nowhere. So I guess the antenna must be right here somewhere, but it's pretty funny. Of course, I have my laptop sitting here connected to the hotspot. Honestly, I kind of think that's the best way to go for a mobile computer. I'm a desktop person. I grew up programming, so I'm used to having desktops, but modern laptops are so good. This Apple with the M1 chip, the battery lasts a really long time. It's what I recommend. So over here, we have our entertainment system. This is one of 2 TVs. They're flip down units. We want the flip down unit because we like it that it folds up and just goes away. It actually has speakers and a built-in volume control and multiple inputs. So it has a lot of flexibility, and again, with the speakers, you can just listen to the volume there if you have, like, let's say, more than one person watching TV or something. But in this system, we went all out. So we actually installed, it's called a matrix switch. It's actually down here if you can see it. What it does is it allows up to 4 inputs to be switched to the 2 TVs. So for example, if one person wants to watch Netflix on the Fire Stick, which is number 3, and if another person wants to watch satellite TV upstairs, which is input number 4, that's possible. Or if they both want to watch TV, or if you want to plug your computer into the auxiliary jack that's right there. That's an HDMI auxiliary jack on number 1. You can watch that. All this is plugged into our stereo system. So this van has a massive upgraded 1000-watt stereo system. It sounds really awesome. It has this subwoofer. It's into the cabinet back here. It's a sealed enclosure, all design. It is powerful and ridiculous. People driving next to you will definitely know you have a subwoofer. Again, the blue tape on the cabinet is just to protect the edges until customer delivery. All right, Anthony, what's your role at ModVans?
My role at ModVans, I'm a mechanical engineer or mechanical engineer associate. I learning how to build these vans. So far it's going good. It's a lot to learn. It's a lot to take in. A lot of work to do, but I enjoy it.
Nice.
I love it.
What do you think about this build?
This build is really nice. Even though I wasn't the one to build it, but I do like the colors, the gray and the black. They complement each other. Heated seats are nice, especially if you go to like Canada or Alaska, where it's very cold. So that's a plus. Honestly, got everything here. I'd rather get this than an actual RV.
Yeah. What about the computer controls? What do you think about all that crazy stuff?
That's pretty cool.
And the giant
And all that time.
giant battery. What do you think about that?
That's really cool. All that time you guys put into all the electronics and the components.
Yeah, it was a battle for sure.
Oh yeah, especially making the app and then using a little tablet to control everything. Even to take the water out.
Yeah, got the water's all controlled by the computer.
Oh yeah.
Heated and open valves.
But yeah, it was see all the hard work and it's paying off.